Good afternoon. How y'all doing today? Today is going to be, I think, my last child parental alienation video. Okay, so this will be part 3. Okay, and unless I remember or other topics come up with my conversations with my kids, I think this will wrap it up for this. Okay. Hey, baby, you need to go inside? Come on. Okay, so puppies inside. Let's get started here. So in this section from a couple of years ago, it had dawned on me that this might happen. And, well, it's happened. Okay, so for all my kids, Noah, Allie, Zeke, Adela, Aiden, and Robbie, if you're ever come into this issue, just let me know and I'll help you work through it. Okay. For the boys, puppy number 2. Come on, let's go inside, baby. Thing 1, thing 2, something like that. For the boys, okay, when you get older and when you have kids, if you run into these issues that I've been talking about parental alienation, come talk to Dad, okay? What I'm about to talk about, again, pertains to the child's psychology. It pertains to child abuse, child alienation, parental alienation, okay? And what I'm about to talk about is, again, like my first part 1, part 2, it's about the child's psychology of who they recognize as dad, okay? And that's why I keep bringing it up. And this part right here, I've been looking for this for months. So I finally found it, and it was kind of an obscure thing, and it was not really talked about. So I did some research and kind of summed it up for you, okay? The title Dad. The title Dad, okay? The dad energy, the dad figure. The one that the kids identify as dad, regardless if I have not been there or not, okay? For all the dads out there that are not with your kids, that are not living in your home, if your kids call you dad, then you're the dad. But if the mom tries to manipulate kids even at a very young age into kind of forcefully pushing the issue of who's dad, that's abuse, okay? All of my kids, my biological kids, and the kids that I have in my heart, that I also question if they are my biological kids because I can't remember, okay? Most of them call me dad or recognize me as the dad figure, okay? So I know Noah, Aiden, and Allie recognize me as dad, okay? Because that's been known because of interaction, okay? Has it been said to my face? No, because I have not been there, okay? But they know who I am, and y'all see me as dad, okay? I'm talking to the audience and my kids at the same time, okay? If any of my kids that are in my heart, regardless if you call me dad to my face or not, if anybody is trying to force the title of who dad is in your household, and you just don't feel comfortable, you don't recognize that man as dad, even if you look at me and say, no, that's still not dad, but you still identify me as a dad figure in your life that's just trying to be a good dad to you, okay? That's still dad, okay? Confusing a child into believing something to push somebody else's narrative or fantasy into their own little fantasy world of their home life. That's abuse. She got with or married another man. She did that, okay? For example, okay? Regardless if they get married or not, if somebody adopts you, and you just don't see them as dad, you are not obligated to call that man dad at all. You don't have to. It's abuse, okay? Being made to feel obligated to do that is something that was put on me, okay? At the end, I called him Jim or McDonald. Yeah, it got that bad. Okay? And he showed up when I was just a little boy. I want to say I was like somewhere around 7 when he showed up, and she stayed with him until I was 19. Yeah. I ran out of that fucking house as soon as I could. As soon as I got my fucking high school diploma, I got the fuck out of that house. Went straight to the Marine Corps. Confusing a child and making them feel obligated because she got married causes major psychological issues further into life, into adult life. Okay, so I'm going to read this, and I don't want my kids to think that I'm trying to take a man out of your life that is your friend. But I want you to understand in your mind and in your heart what mom has done. Okay, hold on, I'm getting puppy out the door again. So I really want my kids to really understand you don't have to feel obligated to do this. Okay? And even if if I have not earned the title dad in your eyes to come out of your mouth, then you are not required to call me dad. Okay? Even for my biological kids. Okay? Noah, Aiden, and Robbie, and possibly that other kid that I haven't been able to find contact with it. Okay? If I have not earned the title, then I don't deserve to be called dad. Okay? Now, Allie has not called me dad to my face, but she recognizes me as her dad figure. Okay? So there's that kind of dynamic. Okay? Noah hasn't literally said, hey dad, or anything like that, because I haven't been there, and he's my biological. Okay? There's different types of dynamics to this that everybody watching should have to evaluate in their own life and recognize. Do you have kids that bonded with you that were not your biological? That ran to you every time you came over to visit their mom? To cling onto your leg as you're trying to walk in the house? Crawling up to you saying, dad, 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 dad. Those kids bonded with you. And that's what happened to me. Okay? And in other relationships and other situations, like Noah, I just couldn't handle his mom and her fucking weird psychological shit. And then I got with Amber. I didn't know she was a narcissist. She was a covert. She would make snide comments, think she was funny. She's gotten so bad that she claims now that she's the funny fat chick. I don't even know what that means. It's some kind of weird abusive thing that she doesn't quite understand that she's being abusive. Okay. And the manipulation within all that. Okay. I have a sneaking suspicion I can't find Aiden because they're adopted out, calling somebody else dad. Okay. I still need to talk to Zeke, see how he feels about that kind of stuff. I did talk to Allie about it, and she helped clarify some things and help me understand things. And I know I wasn't there. Well, at the same time, my kids, I keep saying this. Mom was living basically a polygamous lifestyle. Okay. Had me going that we're going to be a family. Okay. I got 17 acres, built a barndomium, and waited. But as soon as I found out she got married in 2022, I sold all that shit. So fuck it. Okay? I was prepared for everybody to come home. Okay? And up to 2024, she had me believing she was coming home July 2024 when she got done with the Army. She said she was going to retire. Background check says she hasn't been in the Army since July 2024. So I don't know what the deal is with that. So there was a lot of manipulation within that dynamic, okay? And bringing Gabe into the situation was interference with the kids, okay, basically. And what Allie has enlightened me about is really disturbing, actually, okay? And it upsets me in a way that makes me want to express myself loudly, okay? There are things in this world that will trigger you. And there are things in this world that will make you question your own reality. And narcissistic manipulation will do that, okay? So at 12 minutes, okay. Before I read this again, for all my kids, whether you were my biological or not, you are not obligated to call your mom's husband or spouse dad. Okay? He may have been there for a while, but if you feel uncomfortable and iffy about calling him dad, you don't have to. Okay? I ask my kids to have the courage to go to mom. If you feel more safe doing it private with mom, just you and mom, okay? Tell her, I really don't feel comfortable. And it makes me feel like I'm obligated to call him dad just because he's been here, because he married you. I didn't marry you. You married him. You're the one who wanted everybody to have the same last name. Or whatever it is you're thinking, okay? Have the courage to say what's in your heart. And regardless if you see another man as dad or not, okay? If you don't see me as dad yet, or you see me as a dad figure, but not your dad, but a dad figure in your life that, cares about you, express it that way. Express it however way it is you feel who dad is in your life, okay? And just because mom had somebody adopt you, or she got married and had somebody adopt you, that doesn't mean you married this dude, okay? You are not obligated to call anybody dad, even me, okay? I think I told Allie this and Noah this not too long ago before I even thought about looking this up. I don't deserve to be called dad until I've earned it, okay? But let's do it this way, okay? Let's do it this way, okay? If I hooked up with the lady down the street, Kate, or the other lady down the street. I forget what her name is, but she's the ginger lady. Come on, hot dog, let's go inside. Okay, so let's do this again. So if I took Poodles back to Kate, if she'd gone out of the fence, I wanted her back down there again. She's gorgeous, fucking smoking hot. If I hooked up with her or the ginger lady down the street, okay, she's smoking hot too. Zeke, Noah, Aiden, you ever come out? Them girls are cute. You should go say hi. If I got with somebody that had kids, okay, these women are example because Kate has 3 and the ginger lady has 2 girls, I think it was. I saw 2 kids. Anyway, so if I married one of them, okay, they're not obligated to call me dad. Okay, but even if it was just a month and they suddenly recognize me as dad, then I'm dad to them, period. Okay. Now, I never married Amanda, but I spent enough time with the kids that they understand my energy. I'm a dad energy, okay? And that's what I'm doing here online. And that's why kids keep coming back. That's dad. Let's go see what dad's talking about today. And it's like exactly what happens. Okay? I keep rattling on. We're at 17 minutes now. Let's read this. Okay? Let's zoom in a little bit. Old man eyes. Here we go. Forcing a child to call another man dad is widely recognized as a form of emotional abuse and parental alienation. This behavior involves brainwashing the child to reject their biological parent and accept an imposter, which can cause lifelong psychological harm, identity confusion, and deep-seated resentment. Legal and therapeutic experts identify this manipulation through several key indicators. I don't know why I couldn't say that right. Parental alienation. This is classified as child abuse where one parent or other partner, the spouse or boyfriend, systematically undermines the child's relationship with the other biological parent or the other adult that the child has recognized as a dad or father figure. Emotional incest, parasitic dynamics. The child is often forced into a partner or surrogate spouse role, bearing emotional burdens inappropriate for their age. Okay. That would be like mother projecting onto the son like hateful shit, or the father or stepfather taking out emotional issues on the daughter or stepdaughter. Okay, that's what that one means. Okay. Gaslighting and reality distortion. The child is taught to deny their own memories and feelings, leading to a fractured sense of self and trust issues. Recommended actions. Document everything. Keep detailed records of dates, times, and specific instances where the child is pressured to use the false title, including text, emails, or witness testimonies. Seek professional support. Engage a family therapist specializing in parental alienation to help the child process the trauma and rebuild a healthy identity. Legal intervention. Consult a family law attorney immediately. Courts increasingly view parental alienation as a serious form of abuse, and documented evidence can support requests for modified custody arrangements or supervised visitation. Validate the child. Gently reassure the child that their feelings are valid and that they are not responsible for the adult's conflicts without aggressively confronting the manipulator in front of the child. Okay. And there's more I can read, but I'm just going to reiterate everything, okay? So basically what this is saying here is the mother is basically, and we can't really use brainwashing. I don't know why they put that in there, but I guess it's just a common word. Manipulate the child in order to establish a narrative, a fantasy. Okay. So I've seen this documented in different things in the one of my book sections where it gives me all the scenarios of dynamics and abuse instances. This happens in so many different ways. And what I'm thinking now, because of my previous videos and talking about the mental health of the mothers, it's looking like a dynamic of a fantasy bubble where the mother tries to have everybody have the same name, and that's the excuse. And then going out publicly and saying, this is their dad, or that's her dad, that's his dad. Okay, that's a form of psychological abuse to manipulate and to have everybody around them trust and believe them, but not the child, and not validating the child's memories and emotions. Okay. Now, like Allie has tried her best to stay in touch with me the entire time since she went up to Idaho. Okay. And from my perspective, that fucking whole thing of living there tore her apart. Okay. She told me back in the day she needed me. And at the time I didn't understand that mom was the issue. And I didn't understand that I needed to show up for my daughter. But now I understand the whole thing, okay? Maybe I shouldn't go that route. But let's do this. Allie has not called me dad to my face. Neither has Noah. Zeke hasn't. But when I was around Aiden, he was. Okay? And it has a lot to do with being present, like I've been saying, and making sure the child knows you were there for them, staying in contact, being consistent, showing your face, letting them hear your voice and see your face, let them make eye contact with you on the camera. Let them know you're present, okay? And they will always, and still and always, recognize you as dad, even if they don't say dad. It is the psychological, emotional feeling. It's an energy, okay? The kids will understand and recognize, okay? All I have to do is walk in the room and they know dad's here. It's that simple, okay? It's all about who the child identifies as dad, okay? And in reality, the mother's fantasy is her fantasy. She married the dude, or she chose to do what she did, okay? But giving the excuse of wanting everybody to have the same last name, but then the child not feeling really, that's not my dad, and kind of forcing the issue, kind of making the child feel obligated to call that person dad, that's abuse. I was forced into calling McDonald dad. If I try to call him by his name, he'd get pissed. And he didn't even fucking adopt me. My last name is not McDonald. Matter of fact, when I was growing up, he denied me to my face and to all the people that would come over and hang out with him. Well, that's not my son. He's a piece of shit. I ain't adopting that motherfucker. He's a retard. Okay, that's another form of abuse by a stepdad. Okay, so I was forced into calling him dad, but he rejected me. It was fucking bizarre and fucking disgusting. But that was his fantasy of having a home life with kids and shit, so he could say, you know, these are my kids. Okay, it's a narcissistic thing to make kids their trophy. Okay, kids and women their trophy, or for women, they see their partner as the trophy partner, and the kids are also trophies. They're a little happy-go-lucky little family, hiding behind a mask, pretending to be something they ain't. That's all psychological issues. And when you wrap the kids up in that, that creates systematic, prolonged, lifelong psychological issues. Okay? So, for all of my kids watching, stay connected to your siblings and help them understand what I'm talking about. Okay? Just make it simple. If you don't feel that that man in your household, if that man does not feel like dad, that it feels like you have to forcefully say dad, don't call him dad. If I have not earned that to come out of your mouth, you are not obligated to say that. And for your mother to try to force the issue and say publicly to people in person or online, this is your dad, that's abuse. Okay? And I didn't like it. It made me cringe every time my mom said that shit. So, if any of my kids would like me to stand there with you, you have my word, I will stand there with you, give you the courage to speak from your heart, and tell mom straight to her face, I don't feel comfortable calling that man dad. Yes, you married him. You changed our last names because you had him adopt us. But that's not the man I recognize as my dad. I call him Gabe. Okay? That's just an example because I'm sick of that situation, and I'm not saying nothing about that situation. I'm just saying this is a topic for today, and because I'm disgusted by that relationship, I used it as an example. Okay, so I'm not saying nothing, kids. Just go with it. Okay, because honestly, I don't know what's going on in your house, Zeke. So I wouldn't know. But this is what's happened to me. So I wanted to share this with my kids and the audience, that this is something that I had to grow up with, and I thought was fucked up. And the whole thing is psychological mind fuck. That narcissists think of me and other kids as trophies. Well, that's my kid, but I didn't adopt him. He's a piece of shit. I ain't adopting him. He's a retard. What that motherfucker didn't understand is, when I was a kid, I was super quiet because I was absorbing everything. I was just watching, observing. Yeah. So I turned out to be a highly intelligent motherfucker. I surpassed him in military career. I surpassed him in college and university. Civilian career. And I retired way before he did. I retired at 42. And he's damn near 70, and he still has to need to do shit to maintain himself. So yeah. I don't want to sound like an ass, but for my kids, you're teens now, it's time to grow a backbone. Okay? I'm trying to be gentle and say that. Gotta have the courage to approach mom face to face, alone if you feel more comfortable, and just tell her plainly, Mom, I don't feel like that person is my dad. Yes, you changed my last name to his last name, but I don't like calling him dad. Blah, blah. Okay, whatever your situation is, I'm trying to think of different scenarios. Just tell it from the heart, okay? But if you would like me to stand there with you, you have my word, I will be a gentleman. I will keep my cool. I will talk to mom with respect and professional behavior. And we will stand there together. And you tell her who you feel is dad, regardless if it's me or not. If you want the courage to be able to talk to mom, I'll stand there with you, okay? Or if you don't have the courage to say those words, just put this video in front of mom, okay? If any of my 6 kids, possibly 7, don't have the courage to speak to mom like this, just give her the phone or ask her for her phone and show her this video. Have her sit down and watch this video. We're now sitting at 31, almost 32 minutes, okay? So, just me speaking about this topic should be enough for her to understand that you just don't feel that that person is dad, and you feel obligated to call him dad, and it's uncomfortable, okay? Make her understand that you feel uncomfortable with the situation, and you'd rather just call him by his name, okay? Aiden, I don't know what's going on in your house. I don't know where you are. If you found my videos and you're staying quiet, please just find me in the messages and just say, hey dad, I'm here, I'm watching, but I don't want to get caught, okay? Zeke and Adela, if you have a similar issue with the topic I've read today, just send me a message and let me know how you feel, okay? And if you're dealing with the not until 18-bit thing, just send me the message. I'll see it and just swipe it away and delete it, okay? You have every right to express yourself, and I don't want you to feel like you're boxed in, okay? Don't give yourself boundaries, okay? You don't have boundaries with dad, okay? You can talk to me about anything, and it will stay with dad, I promise. And if you need the courage to talk to mom, I'm right here for you, all right? So, again, folks, this is a personal thing that I grew up with, and I want to share, and possibly if my kids have ever had that situation come up, regardless if you're my biological kids or not, if you recognize me as the dad figure, or you feel like you could look me in the eye and call me dad, then I'm your dad, and I love you, and I miss you, and I'll see all of you real soon, okay? So, till then, have a beautiful day. I love you and miss you all, and for everybody else, look this stuff up, okay? It's worth a while to just understand, even if the scenario may not be in your life at the moment, maybe in another child's life you might see, okay? Later, folks.